Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season, the 2020 car set. And first and foremost, I want to say I hope everyone in the NASCAR community is being safe out there, and with the postponement of the races in the foreseeable future, I want to assure my viewers that Brandon and I will continue to run the series as it was originally scheduled, so you won't miss any weeks of racing in the interim. Very cool that the NASCAR stars are actually doing sim racing on Sundays. Very cool to see. So we have our own race here at Miami Homestead Speedway, waiting for that green flag, and we are racing. And as you can see, we are starting towards the back. We did not have a good qualifying effort out of it. It's the day version of the night track that Brandon and I ran last November here. Very cool, but very loose Homestead Raceway, and you can see that blue car up there is Brandon in that wreckingandracing.com podcast Toyota. And as always, if you are a fan of NASCAR and looking for a podcast to tune into, look up wreckingandracing.com. So we'll be rolling the bottom here, following Ryan Newman and Christopher Bell. These guys like to mix it up a bit until they get single file and then they pick up speed, so it is in our best interest to make up as many spots as we can. Very bad entry into turn one there. We have Daniel Suarez to our outside with Corey LaJoie pushing that bottom there. Still, the pack is pretty close to one another. No one is really breaking away, although it looks like Kyle Busch is up there leading the charge. And Brandon is making up some spots there under the 36, I believe. And we will get into the high lane. And one thing that these guys like to do is run about a lane and a half off of the wall when they're by themselves. So there's really no room to get to their outside, and there's really no room to get to their inside. Speaking of which, Daniel Suarez having a run to our inside. We'll get that run off the high lane and continue on down the backstretch. And Harvick looks like he was passing for the lead up there. And Kevin has not won this season, so Kevin will be hoping to solidify his position in this year's championship 16 with a win here in Miami. And we haven't won yet either. So if things go well for us, we might be able to pull it out today. But I just want a strong finish here. Starting in the back, we're sort of fighting amongst these guys without clean air. It's really tough to make passes. You'll really have to get position on the guys and hope they roll out like that 32 did just there. And then once they start getting single file, we can make better passes and judge our passing a lot better. Up front, though, in the top 10, whoa, Brandon down to the apron, slides up the racetrack. That's going to bottleneck everyone up here. Let's see if we can make a charge to the inside of Newman. See if we can get that 3 wide on the bottom charge. See if we can get a twofer. It's really loose down there at the bottom. We can't really throw it in and send it on the bottom just yet, but we will pass that 34 and be right on the back bumper of Newman still, and he is very difficult to pass. We'll see if we can get to his inside and charge the corner. We're 3 wide, washing up the track just a skosh with that 34 looking on our back bumper as well. We'll pass Ty Dillon. Newman is still out there. Only 1 car, so we've got 2 made up in that turn, and as you can see, we're really starting to single file out. We'll be looking to pit at about the halfway mark. 2 or 4 tires, I'm not really sure at this point, but I'm thinking 4. The car wouldn't handle that good on 2 tires, I don't believe, but we will take a look-see. First and foremost, though, we have to get around the 95 of Christopher Bell, and then Stenhouse is back here as well, fighting with his number 17 former car of Chris Buescher. Brandon making some good passes up there as well, though. If Brandon can keep forcing that issue and slowing those guys down, we'll be able to capitalize on those moves. Looks like Harvick is still out in front, but they're not out of our view. And as long as we can click off a few tenths per lap, we'll be all set. Here's hoping anyway. We can set sights on the 17, though, have a little bit of clean track to get up to him here. We can run our pace and our line and see if we can get away from the 95 as well. We are gapping the 95 a bit. As you can see, we got back to the gas pretty early through turn 3 and 4, and we're able to carry that speed all the way down the front straightaway And yeah, we'll be able to set up on the 17 fairly well, I think. Maybe in turn 3 if we're lucky, or when we get back around to turn 1, we'll be in a position to pass. Get that pull, and here we go. Brandon is making up hay right there, but he's stuck behind the 24 of William Byron. It looks like the 42 of Larson is that, or that could be Boyer. Can't really see, but I believe that's Larson, who is typically very fast here at Miami Speedway. But as long as he keeps forcing these guys to the high lane, we might be able to catch them bit by bit. Now, pit stops are going to be where we might be able to make up a lot of time here. If they're really conservative getting down on pit road, we can shave a few seconds off getting on pit road and a few seconds getting off of pit road and vault ourselves up past these cars directly in front of us. But Harvick is starting to stretch that lead out quite a bit. Oh, car in the wall, Brad Keselowski. Hard into the wall, that will bring out the caution. So we're racing back to the line here. We'll see if we can get Chris Buescher at the line going into turn 3, make up a spot there. We may be within our pit window as well. So this may be the only time we will be on pit road. And I've got some thinking to do as far as tire strategy is concerned. We need a full tank of gas, so maybe 4 tires is what we will do, but we will get down to pit road and I will be right back. All right, the entire pack is on pit road, and we'll have a very quick entry here, qualifying in the back. Our pit stall is all the way back here by the garage entrance. So here we go, 4 tires and fuel, boys, let's get it. I called an audible, just 2 tires for track position. And it looks like everyone else may be doing the same thing. We're coming out behind the 38, but we'll be able to leapfrog all of these cars who have taken 4 tires. Looks like Joey Logano has taken 4. Bowman is back here as well. We'll make that pass. So a lot of fast cars who were up front decided to take 4 tires, and we will be in front of them on this restart on fresh right sides. But plenty of fuel to go in. We won't have to come down pit road anymore. We'll see where we shake out at the start. Getting ready for the restart. That was a very good plus gain for us. We're just outside the top 15, so we gained about 15 spots off of that pit road exchange, but we need to make sure we keep these tires under us. Green flag is back out. They're getting choked up on the start, and I believe Brandon took 4 tires on that pit stop, so he'll be behind us here, probably coming with a full head of steam. There he is on the bottom. I sort of caught a glimpse of him under Alex Bowman there. So we'll be on the lookout for those 4 fresh tires to be moving to the front. Everyone else in front of us, I believe, took 2, including our leader, Kevin Harvick. It looks like Larson is up there battling as well, and Denny Hamlin and even Truex. So some movers and shakers up front. Joey Logano down to the bottom under Alex Bowman there. It looked like Brandon was trying to follow him. We'll dive bomb into the corner, sort of slide job up on the 38. The 88 gets a run on the bottom. Hopefully we can carry that speed on the outside and get that draft off of Eric Jones. We see Austin Dillon up there as well. He's looking to maintain his spot in the top 16 with a run, and any position we can get moving forward is gravy. And one thing I will say is the car is tightened up quite a bit on these fresh right sides and old left sides. I think I can drive this a little bit harder than before the pit stops even, so maybe 2 tires was the best thing for us. Alex Bowman is going to put that to the test though, as he is right behind us. We'll cut under Eric Jones, get that draft off the 21 of Di Benedetto, and with these guys running side by side like this, hopefully we can do sort of a plate race attack where if we hang the bottom, we'll pass everyone who is hung on the outside. So we'll get to the inside, try to follow William Byron around under the 21, and Brandon is holding station right there, looking under the 88, 3 wide back there, so he is coming hard on those 4 fresh tires. It will be a few laps before he gets up here, but we're making positive gains, and we're the one that's punching the hole through the traffic now. Dylan holding that bottom around the 43 of Bubba Wallace, and we can see Martin Truex Jr. up there, and how about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. up here in the top 10, as he usually is this particular season. That is interesting to see for sure. We don't usually see Ricky as a force to be reckoned with on these racetracks, but whatevs. We won't go to the inside of Truex there. We'll just follow him through on the bottom around the 1 of Kurt Busch. And we are making a lot more forward progress this particular run than before the pit stops for sure. Maybe we just need a little bit clean air, or we needed to be amongst faster race cars so we could actually drive our race car appropriately. Speaking of fast, Brandon is getting around the 24, so now he is right behind us. He may be moving forward. If he is indeed faster than us, he can continue to open up those gaps and continue to make passes. We won't make it easy on him as Martin Truex Jr. Gets into our door just a little bit. We clipped the apron there, washed up the track just a skosh, but we'll dive in deep. Truex fights back on the outside, and here comes Brandon on the inside. Luckily, we weren't in the middle 3 wide. We'll have a little bit of momentum carried on that high groove. We'll hug the bottom and see if Brandon goes to the outside. We're holding the middle groove okay, but it looks like Brandon can really arc that bottom a lot better than us and carry that speed off. What I'm really concerned about is these cars nose to tail like that. The 47, sorry Stenhouse. And here I was worried. I thought maybe they were going to chop us up, get on the brakes or what have you. So we got into Stenhouse there, no worse for the wear. But this will set us up, I believe, for a green-white checker finish here in Miami. We won't pit, and I don't think anyone else will either, so we will re-rack them up for the last 2 laps of the race. Pace car is ready to make that hard left turn down to pit road with 2 laps to go, and I don't think this is a good short run car. So we're going to do what we can here on the restart on the gas. Brandon gets up through the gear as well, setting our sight on that number 10 single file. Now if we can get a strong run going into this corner, we might get under Brandon just a bit. We had a little bit better restart. He should carry that momentum on the outside, however. It's going to be a drag race going into turn 3. Truex with us. The lead cars are starting to break away just a bit. We get into the corner. Brandon drives it in deep. Truex right there on our bumper. That is close indeed. White flag is out. Larson to the inside. Almirola to the inside as well. Does anything have... is there anything out there for Kevin Harvick? It looks like he is stepping it up over Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. And it doesn't look like it. If Brandon can get under Almirola and maybe the 8 of Reddick, we can follow him through at the line. We'll get that arc down in the bottom to try to paint that white line, get on the gas as early as we can. We have the run on the 10. We'll get that pull down to the inside. Can we beat Almirola to the line? And I think we did, ladies and gentlemen. So Kevin Harvick notches up the win in this particular race. Let's go to our TV camera. And indeed, Kevin Harvick is your winner. Second place, Kyle Busch. Third place, Denny Hamlin. Fourth place, Chase Elliott. Fifth place, Jimmy Johnson. Sixth place, Kyle Larson. Seventh, Tyler Reddick. Eighth, Brandon. And I believe we finished in ninth place. So a nice top 10 for us indeed. Let's take a look at the two and see what happened to Brad Keselowski here with that jacked up rear end. As you can see, he fought with that all race long. There we go. So on lap 10 going into turn 1, there is Brandon there as well to Brad's inside. And it's just two get together, Brandon into Keselowski there, much like we got into Stenhouse later in the race. So it would have been caution-free had Brandon and I not get into those cars into turn 1. But coming away with a top 10 certainly isn't bad after our starting spot. So let's take a look at the standings after Miami. Harvick vaults himself up into third place with that win. Stenhouse Jr. is your cutoff driver, tied with Austin Dillon. 5 back to 18th, 19th, and 20th. Only 6 points separate 12th through 16th. It is still tight from 10th on down to 20th. And next week, we are heading to Texas Motor Speedway, thinking about another Atlanta-type situation. We were having a good run there until misfortune happened. We'll see if we can flip that around, but that will do it for me and this episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.